Welcome back to another episode of Our House. It's good to have you with us again. I'd like to give you an overview of the front yard and all the things that need to be done to turn this into a much more attractive place to look at. As you can see, or you will see, that it's a bit of a mess at this stage. I'd also like to point out that this is the first video I've ever taken with the new camera, and unfortunately the highlights are really blown out, as you can see. It just goes to show that you should leave everything on automatic until you know what you're doing, but I can assure you that the following videos do get much better. Now let's have a look at what needs to be done. So we have 5 raised garden beds, and as you can see on this first garden bed there's a fair bit of damage to it, just from people leaving the driveway and you misjudging it and hitting the edge. So that'll need to be all fixed, but at this stage it's the least of my priorities. I just want to get everything looking good, and then I can revisit that later on, maybe even come up with a completely different solution. But yeah, 5 garden beds, as you can see, plenty of weeds in them. It's just absolutely disgusting. We had this weird thing last year where we had so much rain, and we've never had a problem with weeds as such, but this year, geez, they just sprouted up like there's no tomorrow. So I'm gonna have to, of course, weed all that, clean it all out. There's good soil, I believe, in there, and at this stage I'm not too sure what to plant. I have an idea that I'd like to at least turn one side of the driveway into a very colourful side, and then this side that we're coming up to now, probably turn it into a more green area. I wasn't too sure what to do with the lawn. It's never been a good lawn in the sense that we have aquaphobic soil. Unfortunately, the previous owner had put some black tarp on to stop the weeds, and it did stop the weeds, but it unfortunately killed the soil. In Victoria, in Australia, we have at least, 10 days maybe over 40 degrees, and you can imagine that, you know, under the heat of that plastic, the soil just didn't stand a chance, and it got cooked, and it gets a coating, a wax coating over the individual bits of soil, and it just cannot absorb water anymore. So I'm going to have to solve that problem. I'll probably end up going with a lawn, like a fake lawn. At this stage I'm still tossing and turning. If you have any ideas or suggestions, please let me know in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. But at this stage it's more about cleaning everything up. As you can see, it's just an absolute horror, and we'll go from there. So now we have this big bushy green thing on our fence line. I personally want to get rid of this. I'll need confirmation with my wife. I think I want to put in its place. We have some excess ferns out in the backyard. They're growing rather large, so I'd like to substitute this bushy thing with one of the green ferns. I mean, it's nice enough, but it doesn't really flower or do anything. And we had another one of these bushes in another spot in the front yard, and I'd already removed that because it was playing havoc with the walkway through to the backyard. And so yeah, ideally I'd like to get rid of this, but I'll see what the wife says first. And now we have this palm tree. I really like this palm tree. I want to keep this. Of course, it just needs its dead palm fronds removed, and one of the reasons why I want to move some of the smaller palm trees from the back to the front to give it that little tropical look, I think would look really nice out here. So now we have this bush at the base of the palm tree. My wife and I really liked this when we moved in, but it just started to grow so rapidly, and it took over almost a third of the front yard. I'll show you a picture of it now, which was a pity, because had it stayed smaller we probably would have left it, but I ended up cutting it back because I wanted a bit of a cleaner look. So, but yeah, that was a tough one, I've got to say. It was one of the ones that we had to give it some serious thought, but ended up cutting it away. So you can also see there's a rose bush in there that we'll be wanting to remove. It barely flowers, I'm not too sure what it is. And then we also have a lot of growth along the fence, which will also be cut down. So it's going to be a real clean-up job just to remove a whole lot of organic growth. So now we come to the two large conifer trees that give our house some identity. It's always easy for visitors when they arrive. We just say look for the two large conifer trees, and they're pretty hard to miss. So we're back in the driveway, and as you can see, the conifers on the right hand side, they stick out a fair bit from the fence line. I would say probably a good 5 or 6 feet. Makes it very difficult for visitors and friends to reverse out of the driveway. You can see where I've tried to remove one of the bushes before, and the fence line behind it is just, it's all rotten and falling over. And you can see that the conifer has, on the part that was facing the bush, has just died away. There's just no growth there. Nice close up of how bad the fence line is. Now some of those conifers are quite large. You can see the last one in the line, it sticks out quite a bit. You can see just how tall some of those conifers are. Now we come up to the vines. That's jasmine on the right hand side, and it smells really nice in spring, but geez, you can see how far it hangs over, and especially in the colder, wetter months, it gets drenched, and when you're trying to get out of your car, you just get soaked. It's shocking. So all that's going to go as well. Everything along that fence line is going. Now we have all the yuccas. I might actually remove the yuccas first. They're just so dangerous when we have my nieces and nephews and other visitors popping over. They're just one day going to poke someone's eyes out. Now I won't be able to remove all the trunks or the root system because it's just so large, so I might just cut them back to being really small, and it would leave some greenery along that path. But yeah, at least we'll remove the danger. You can see they've grown so large. They were so small when we planted them. Now that yucca there was actually a gift to my wife. I think it was our first wedding anniversary, sorry, not a wedding anniversary, the first anniversary that we met. It was probably the size of the plant at the bottom and has just grown so large, but I'll cut that one back as well. we have this water feature here. It's never worked. I've never ever tried to turn it on, and as far as I'm concerned, you couldn't have put it in a worse place. So, and it leaks underneath. The plastic doesn't contain the water, so I'm just going to remove all that. And there we go. So we have a lot of work to do. I'll be looking forward to getting stuck into it. It's probably a good 3 months worth of work. It probably shouldn't take 3 months to do it, but of course you have to be able to get rid of everything you've cut down, and we only have one organic bin, and we should be thankful we have the organic bin. But that gets collected only once every fortnight. So once that bin is full, then I really can't do any more until the next collection. So that's why I'm anticipating 3 months. Well, we'll end on that note. I've shown you everything I think there is to see. If you'd like to see more and how it progresses, please consider subscribing. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It really helps out the channel. And my name is Andrew, and we will look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thanks very much for joining us. Bye for now.